Then one of my friends, she comes out and she was like, "Oh, I think that's Ice Spice over there." And I'm like, "Oh, for real?" So I go up to them and I'm giving her and the other girl she was with compliment, and then immediately Ice Spice was just.
Do you see what I'm saying? Professional victim, professional liar. This person, these are wild animals. These are wild animals. They're welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, Motivation Nation. It is your host, Al Gore. We're back with another one. Hey, listen, we're gonna jump right into this. This is the Ice Spice attack in the McDonald's in California. This been sent to me. So this is an impromptu video drop, but we're gonna drop this. And stay to the end because we do have an interview with the young lady that attacked Ice Spice, and she just gets on here and tells all kind of lies and nonsense. If in fact that's really the lady, because it's still social media, so people lie, but it does, from what we can see, it does seem to look like the young lady that attacked. Well, I'm not gonna say the young lady, the young animal, the wild animal that attacked Ice Spice. But if you haven't seen this, what we're going to do now, we're going to get into this nonsense and we're going to give our opinion and we're going to give our reaction to it. So, with no further ado, let's get into this nonsense. Okay. Okay, so we have to pause this for real quickly, right? So this is provided by TMZ, so I will have a link to the original video in the description because I had to take all the actual fighting out of this video for YouTube guidelines. But um, she's out by herself. Now this is a celebrity. She's worth a lot of money. She's out with her friend trying to relax. Now, the first mistake that they made is allowing this young lady. I understand that she's a fan, but she's coming up and she's getting a little bit too close for comfort. And Ice Spice should not have her back to the door either, especially if you're famous with no security, right? But anyway, let's let this go on. I just had to point. This is a teachable moment. We gotta point some things out here. Okay, now at this point, it's turned hostile. At this point, anybody who's ever had a physical altercation or been in any fight, it is turned hostile at this point. She's now standing over you, leaning in an aggressive manner. At this point, you have to now get straight up. There's no more talking. There's no more trying to figure out what's going on. We're in a hostile situation now. You either have to get completely up, push her backwards, or you have to get up and get on the other side because we got to be toe to toe at this point because she now has the advantage over you. Whatever's on her mind, this position lets you know she's about to attack. And I take my hat off to her because, her being a celebrity worth what she's worth in McDonald's, her and her friend eating by themselves, which they should be able to do. But unfortunately, when you are famous, you have to take into consideration a few things, and your safety being one, especially in California, where a lot of these celebrities get harassed and attacked just because they're famous. Because this is nothing more than a woman that's jealous. This ain't no fan. This is a person who's jealous of Ice Spice and her fame and her money. Because this is unprovoked from what we can see from here. But let's let it go on. And like I say, I did have to pause the actual fighting, but we're going to let it continue. Take a look at that guy in the back. Now you can tell he's with her. It looks like that's alcohol in his hand. Yep, and it starts right there. That's where it starts. Boom, that's another still frame of it. That's the guy who just came in, grabbing her. hmm Friend gets pushed. Friend gets pushed right there. As I said, we had to pause because we can't show the fighting on YouTube. So I'll say this. I I com- now, although I do commend her for standing her ground and not backing down to this wild animal that showed up, she could also have been putting her life in danger because, see, when a wild animal shows up, you don't know what a wild animal has. And they showed up in a group, which is completely cowardice. They knew that she was there. How they knew, who knows? It's LA. People have all kind of surveillance on different celebrities when they're in town. So the fact that those people came as a group, and I understand she's upset, she's been attacked, but at the same time, you don't know any of these people and you don't know what they have. And we've seen far too many times where these celebrities, singers and rappers have been taken out in similar type of situations. And I get it. You want to get your lick back and you want to get your get back, but this could cost you your life in the end. And I hate to say it, she should be able to eat out in public by herself. But in the time that we're in, especially with this social media, everybody's trying to make content and go viral at someone else's expense. And that's a major problem. And I've done videos on all these pranks where people like to walk up on random people and prank them. And then when the consequences hit, the people that are doing the pranks then want to turn around and play victim. They want to cry victim when people are begging you, leave me alone. Leave me alone. I even did a video where a guy disrespected a female in front of her boyfriend. He has 6 security guards, and it's like, you're gonna run into somebody who doesn't care about you or those security guards, and all 6 of those security guards and you and your friend are gonna be on the front of somebody's t-shirt. Like, this has to stop. But we're in that generation now, we're in that age now where people want to go viral off somebody else. But let's let this go on because it keeps going from here. So she's still trying to get some understanding as to why they're doing this. They're doing this because they're hating and they're trying to go viral. This is more so about these wild animals getting clout, them wild animals being able to say, I ran up on this person. These are wild animals. These are wild animals. They're not able to comprehend. They're not able to think. Listen, let's see what see? That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. Now, did you hear that? She said, that's Ice Spice. We're going viral. That's Ice Spice. We're going viral. See, this is all about them trying to go viral. He's complaining, talking about she's drunk. That's not her problem. You came and started a fight, and now you want someone not to fight you back because you're drunk. Again, these pranksters and these people who want to go viral think they can do things to people and there are no consequences. And then once they have to face consequences, it then turns into they're the victim now. Now you're doing something to them. And I'm just telling you, if something ain't done about all this, these incidents are going to continue to happen more and more, and it's going to continue to get worse and worse. And it's going to be a lot of people on t-shirts in the near future if this doesn't stop. Now look at this clown. Now this is a man talking about beating up a girl on his mama. And that's the next. So let me stop there. That's the next thing. It's so many of these young men out here who behave like women. He's yelling and wanting to fight a girl, talking about on his mama, because this is a product of how this young man has been raised. He's been raised to behave like a young lady. This is young lady behavior. This ain't how a man acts. But this is a byproduct of a bunch of broken homes. And then when these young men grow up, they're men physically, but they're females mentally, and they're females in with their behavior. Now he wants to fight a girl who's been attacked by another girl who's trying to defend herself, and at least she has the most heart of everyone there, because through all of it, I'm not saying it's the smartest thing, but she has the heart, and I can respect that all the way, because she ain't worried about all the people that's with her. She wants to fight this girl head up. And that's an old school mentality. And in the old school, first of all, you would have had to have really had a problem with somebody to even be running up fighting them like that. But you should allow these two people to square up one on one. But it shouldn't even come to that, because this is a scenario where she's trying to go viral. And Ice Spice got out of this one. This could have gone a whole different direction, because you don't know any of these people, and you don't know what they have, and you don't know what their true intentions were with you that night. So I'm glad that Ice Spice did not get, is not on, that it didn't go in a different direction, right? Because this could have gone in a different direction. I understand her anger. And this guy here has to be the weakest guy in his entire family, because this is weak what he's doing right here, wanting to fight a female and talk about what he's going to do. It's unfortunate. I'm just surprised Ice Spice doesn't have a speed dial or somebody she can call that can get to her right there. But I guess she's in California. But still, I don't know. I don't know. It's a lot of stuff I don't understand in this, and I get it. She's out late, so she's thinking, I just go in there, sit in the back, nobody's gonna bother me. But you still are famous, you still are Ice Spice. So, and you're in LA. So I don't know if you can just hide out like that out there. Because he doesn't want to fight him. He doesn't want to fight a man. And she's ready to fight him. You can't tell someone to calm down after you snuck attacked them. And you know the next thing about this is, these people come in, they start this situation, and then they want to play dumb as if they don't know what's going on, talking about what happened. And this is the type of stuff right here that sends people over the edge, because you have started something, incited a riot, and then on top of that, you're a coward. You do this, you run. You have backup, she doesn't. And then you want to pretend like you don't know what's going on, and then you want to turn around and play victim. I mean, like I said, I say this almost in every video. I feel like Demolition Man when when Sylvester Stallone woke up and he had no idea what was going on in society, because it was nothing like what he grew up in. When they put him in that crowd prison, life was completely different. When he woke up, he had no understanding. He didn't know what was going on. It was hard for him to function. That's kind of how I feel with what's going on nowadays. I have no understanding of this type of behavior, because when I grew up, it was completely different. But anyway, let's just go on.
Hey, don't push him though. Don't push him though. Don't push him because he can't get you the back. Don't push him. I was with my friends and everything, and we came from the beach earlier that night, and we decided to go walk around Hollywood or whatever. But before we did that, we decided to stop by McDonald's because we all had to use the bathroom. So then one of my friends, she comes out and she was like, "Oh, I think that's Ice Spice over there." And I'm like, "Oh, for real?" So I go up to them and I'm giving her and the other girl she was with compliment. And then immediately Ice Spice was just...
Do you see what I'm saying? Professional victim, professional liar. Ma'am, we saw you. And this is what I'm saying. No accountability. No. And then the problem is that a lot of these people are committing these crimes and these heinous acts, and there's no repercussion for what they're doing. So they think that it's okay. And then they have the unmitigated gall to get online and lie about the entire interaction and make themselves out to be the victim. This is what I'm talking about, man. This is the type of stuff that I'm talking about. You cause a problem, And then you do exactly what I said. Now you're the victim. Now Ice Spice chilling, minding her own business. And I'll be honest, I know Ice Spice is like some, I don't know who it is precisely. As you can tell, that ain't really my age bracket, but I have heard her name and I do know that she's famous. So this is a bigger thing because to me, it's bigger than just the Ice Spice because they do this to regular people. It's just so happened now they did it to a celebrity and now it's going to be magnified. But this is something that's going on in society right now because everybody wants to go viral. And this is what I'm saying. Now she gets on here and now she's the victim. But let's let this wild animal clown fool go on and tell her lie and tell her, I'm not even gonna say her side of the story. She's gonna tell us a lie so that she can justify her behavior. But again, a product of how these people are raised. They come from a long line of this type of foolishness. If you do your research on her, you'll find out this is how everybody in her family acts. This is how she was raised.
Being rude. She was like, "Why are you over here? You could leave. Bye." And I'm like, "Why are you being rude?" Pretty much. And she was basically saying like, "You could just leave. Bye. Like, I don't even know why you're at my table." Then that's when I proceed to ask her like, "You don't got to be rude. I'm just giving you guys a compliment." And I'm like, "You know what? Where are you from?" She said, "I'm from New York." So I said, "Let me tell you something. I don't care where you're from." I'm like, "You in LA, you in my city now. You can't be out here disrespecting."
That's not your city, ma'am. You probably don't own anything in the city. You don't pay no taxes in the city. You don't do anything in the city other than you were born. Ain't your city. Just a place that you happen to live. You ain't got nothing. You don't own nothing in the city. Hate when I hear people say that's my city. Ain't your city. You didn't build nothing in the city.
People like, if you wanted us to leave, you could have just politely said, "Oh, I'm not in the mood" or something, right? Instead of just yelling at me. So she kept going on. Then she calls me a bitch. So after she calls me a bitch, I hit her. So I hit her, and then so I got escorted out the McDonald's. And then so after they escorted me, I'm like by my car, and I hear Ice Spice in the middle of the street.
Do you know how terrible and awful of a person, an individual, and how untrustworthy of an individual you have to be to concoct an entire lie to this degree? To try to make yourself look better because you were the aggressor in an effort to play victim to now probably try to sue this lady for her money on an incident that you guys started, that Ice Spice was outnumbered, could have gotten seriously hurt, and now you're on here telling a complete bald-faced lie as if it's not on camera. And because they're not intelligent and they're not smart and they're unaware of their surroundings, she didn't even know that there was a camera in there from McDonald's filming the whole thing. They weren't smart enough to look around and look up and see if there was a camera before they did this act. But the reason that they don't care if it's a camera is there's no repercussion to these actions. These people get to do this and they get to walk free as if they did absolutely nothing. And it's the person that has something is the one that has to pay in the end. The person that don't have nothing, they get to do what they want and walk away scot-free. It's the person that has any amount of money, any amount of fame is the person that now has to watch what they say, watch what they do, because they're going to get sued just defending themselves. If they win, they lose. Because she gets attacked, she beats this girl's, she jumps up and down on this girl's head like a trampoline, like Kwame Brown says. Jump up and down on the girl's head like a trampoline. Well, now she gets sued because they're going to say, well, you didn't have to do that. You should have stopped. You should have done this. You have to walk around with security. I get it. There can't be a situation where you don't have security because you have wild animals on the loose. And when they get on the loose, this is the type of stuff that happens. Now they play victim. And there's some attorney out there who is willing to pick this case up and try to make a name for themselves just to attach their name to Ice Spice. But anyway, let's let this nonsense finish. This is a wild animal that's on the loose. On the loose.
Talking about some, "Where is that bitch at? I don't want to fight her with you, woo woo." So I come back down the street, and then that's when me and her fought again. And then she just kept talking a whole lot of mess. That was just like the brief of the story, honestly. And then as I'm outside the McDonald's as well, she picks up one of my homie's phone. She picks it up and she throws his phone and broke his screen. So it was just like basically she was being disrespectful and rude, which is why we fought. As a fan, I'm not expecting you to be rude or nothing like that. I'm thinking you're gonna, you're just gonna, oh, like, thank you for supporting me, this and that. But she had a different attitude towards me, you know. With Ice Spice, I have no like longer beef with her. Like, I never had beef with her, nothing. But she lost the fan. I can't listen to her the same anymore. Like, it's just now I know that you're like disrespectful and all of that. I just can't support her no more, you know.
She said, I no longer have beef with her. This is man. Some of these people, man. I no longer have beef with a person I don't even know. This is insane. This is insanity at its finest moment. I just, you look at some stuff and it's like, man, if I wasn't looking at it, I wouldn't believe it. Well, as a matter of fact, I'm looking at it and I still don't believe it. I'm looking at it with my own two eyeballs and I still don't believe what I'm looking at. Now, that just tell you everything what you need to know. But again, I'm not gonna just keep harping on the same point. I'm not going to keep harping on the same point, but I will say this before I end the video. And this has been a long one, but it's a bigger issue. It's bigger than Ice Spice, right? This is a horrible situation for Ice Spice, but it's a bigger situation because this is the way that society is going. And I will say this, especially if you are a celebrity and you have money like she does, because it's one thing to have money and it's another thing to have money and fame, where you're recognizable when people can see you and your money, and a roundabout amount of how much money you make is posted online. You have to be taking some type of a self-defense class. You got to be taking martial arts. You got to be taking boxing. You have to be in some type of shape, especially if you plan on moving around by yourself with you and just your friend. And your poor friend was absolutely no help. They were throwing her around like a rag doll. She was absolutely of no use to you in that situation. It was you versus everybody, including your friend. Now, I get it. Your friend ain't a fighter. She didn't expect that to happen either. But if you're famous, right, you have to be expecting the unexpected. You have to think that no matter where you go, somebody is going to know you, and then once one person knows you, they're going to get on the horn and call their friends. And that's usually how those mobs happen. But you cannot assume when you're famous, especially to a certain degree, that you have any level of anonymity anywhere that you go out in public. I don't care, especially if your face is visible. And I'm not saying that, Ice Spice did anything wrong in this scenario, because in my opinion, she didn't. She should be able to eat in peace. But I'm just saying, as far as being famous, just things that you can take away from this. Just don't ever let somebody get up on you like that. Do not let them encroach in your space like that. Take some martial arts classes. Make sure that you have some security going forward wherever you go, whenever you step out in public. And if you are going to go to McDonald's, you go through the drive-through, you go in and you come right out. You just can't do that type of thing in the situation that you are. I get it. You want to be normal, but you have elevated past that, and you have dangerous wild animals that's on the loose, ready for anything, and they have nothing to lose, and they feel they have everything to gain. Now she's doing interviews thinking that she's somebody now, and telling a completely different story and a bald-faced lie. But y'all saw what I saw. Y'all heard what I heard. I was long-winded, but it was needed on this one. It was needed. And now I need you guys to get down in the comments. Let me know what you guys thought about this. What do you guys think? Let me know. But that's it for this video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Out.